friends, what's happening out there? Happy 4th of July. Yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal, North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. And as it says in the description, I'm going to show you you only see part of the pedal board. So we got the ME90 over there, and the drop pedal with actually the little foot switch that's there is the FS7 foot switch for the first RC5 loop pedal. That's so I could go up and down my patches. And then over there, that pedal, that blue pedal, is the SY1. And of course, we got the ME90. Got the Beat Buddy there. That's the second, that's the latest RC5 we got. And it's running into the RC300. And we're going to do this. We are going to do this. I'm going to show you what I'm plugged into. I got everything kind of wired up here. We are running it into the little Yamaha THR10C. These are the first versions of these little amps that they came out with. I think it was early to mid 2000s. And they had three versions. The white one, which was a kind of all-around model. The green one, which was set more for metal. The black one, which is one I have, is set more for the classic amps. So that's what I'm running it through. Now let me put this back here at my little clip I got here. Sorry about that, guys. Of course I did that. There we go. Now what I'm doing here is doing a little experiment. First of all, I hope everyone's safe out there and having a great time and enjoying your 4th of July. And sorry about the late notice. I had to do this because I was gonna bust out my Zoom camera, my Zoom 8Q8 camera, and I thought, well, I got some stuff on that chip, and I'm still using that for loading up for our lessons that we're going to be posting up online pretty soon here. And Deb's going to keep everyone informed on that. And those lessons are going to really be for players. I'll touch some stuff on theory. I'm not really a theory guy, but I can understand some of it. But the first part of theory is understanding that fretboard where your notes are laid out. You will never get lost. But again, we'll keep everyone posted on that. So what I'm going to do here is I had put something here in patch number 20 on the RC 300. Now let me show you how I got this hooked up. The pedal board over here, this guy over here, everything I got there. I got the guitar, input into the guitar input there. The effects loop, I'm running the Digitech drop and the SY1 into the effects loop on the ME90, that's a good feature having that. And then the output of the pedal board of the ME90 is going into the input of the RC5. That output of the RC5 is running into here. Sorry about this, guys. Into this side right here, which is my instrument. This setup over here, the Beat Buddy Mini 2, and the second RC5, I have it running into the auxiliary, into this. So, I don't have to run anything into the Beat Buddy. So, that, even if I were not using the Beat Buddy and just using the RC5, I don't need to plug anything in there, because I'm just basically using it as a player. Now, how I have things set here, I got this as, this is an empty memory, and what I did here on the RC300, I had already set up to have my volume to control that patch. When you set up the volume pedal, you have to do it per patch, so keep that in mind. And when you go from one patch to the other, before you start playing, it's recommended to do this, get the volume pedal motioned, and then you hit your switch. Then it's like it activates it. Unless yours is different. Don't know. But mine, that's what I have to do on mine. So what I did here, you might not be able to see this if I, maybe you will. Let's try this, guys. I did a little creation here with the Beat Buddy. Maybe you won't be able to see it. Yeah, see the screen washes out. But the patch I'm using on that happens to be a hip hop number 6 standard 4/4 time at 85 beats per minute. Just wanted to see what I could come up with. Doing a lot of the fusion thing, and at these restaurants, sometimes it's laid back, right? So I was just messing around. Oh, sorry, guys, about that. I was just messing around with everything, and I thought, let me see what I can get with this. So what I did is I had looped it into here. Now I created the rhythm. Let's see, we're gonna do this. I created the rhythm, the drums and rhythm guitar onto track one onto RC300. Let that loop, and then came back and did my bass with the Digitech drop and did the bass on here. So this is what I got. Now, if it might not be your liking, that's okay. That's okay. This is an experiment. But sometimes I need to come up with stuff that's a little bit laid back. Because when I'm doing these restaurant gigs, I'm literally playing to all kind of people because it's a restaurant. And real quick, before I forget, because I might forget, and I'll touch on this a little bit later. When you're doing restaurant gigs, and if you're doing 3 to 4 hour sets, you're not going to have everybody stay all 3 to 4 hour sets. They might. Sometimes I do get that. But you will get people that are, they're just sitting, they got their day plan, they happen to come out. Oh, this is nice. I like this. This is great music. I like the way the guy plays, but I can't really stay. And then that table turns, and here comes another group of people. You constantly get people turning tables here. So for those of you who are doing restaurant gigs and you feel like, man, I don't want to repeat this song or that. Just think in terms of this. The people that are coming in did not hear that song. So if you play that song, or whatever you're going to do, that's where you might get your tips, So it doesn't mean you don't have enough material. It just, you need to understand how to read that crowd. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to call my phase shifter. Oh, I got to plug the guitar. I'm using a shorter cable here, guys, so I gotta get some longer cables. My main ones are in our case. Okay, so without any further ado, this is what I have. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fade it in with the volume pedal. Now here comes the bass. I just turned off the track 2 with the bass. I'm using the PRS SE guitar, by the way. Okay, so just fade out the volume pedal, or with over here, this little foot switch over here is an all stop all. Now I'm not going to save that because I'm going to keep that as a blank um, patch there. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to document it, so I have it. I have it on file, so I don't forget. And now that's how I work with that. Now this next track I put in here, it's a little bit of a take of a Santana piece off of Santana 3, and it's the very first song on the Santana 3 album called Bachuca, and that, I guess what it means is it's a combination of athletic dance. So, without any further ado, here we go. Right. So now I want to explain something here. These RC5 loop pedals, you got to be, when you're recording stuff, and the way I'm doing it, I'm not doing any downloading or anything like that. It's recording things at real time. And when you record them in, you have like a master level here. If it comes out a little bit too soft, you have to get in there, crank up your level. It goes up to 200, and then save that. It could be a little bit tricky here because you have all these different volume differentials. That's why what I do like about running this into the auxiliary here, I could just turn this up as I need it. And with my other RC5, I got everything running into the same patches here, so that's into the instrument. But the right now the Beat Buddy and the second RC5 pedal is plugged into the auxiliary on the RC20, and then over here you have your master level that will set the volume for everything, which is nice. It's nice having a knob to bass, and everything's an experiment. So just keep things like that in mind. Now, what I was going to say about the, well, here, I have this with the ME90. I have not gone into too much of editing and pre-programming anything. I have done a few things. On my user bank number 2 on patch 1, I have this regular clean guitar. Apparently, I found this out. Your controller, you could turn on. I think I got on this patch. I could turn on 3 effects all at once, and we will go ahead and do that. I think right now that's set to a natural sound. Now, when I hit the controller, 3 effects are going to come on. Now, that's a little bit too much. With your memory switch over here, sorry about this, guys. I'm going to have it. Maybe I do this. Get a little bit closer. I can only do so close to it. But with the memory switch over here, now I'm going to get in what's like pedal mode. And if I want to shut off the delay and the modulating effect, here, let's do that. Now for here, my compressor, I got the octave set. Now I'm going to bring in the modulation. I think that's set for overtone. It's almost like an organ sound. So I'll set off the octave and we'll just leave the modulating on. Okay, so we'll shut off the modulator. Now I'll turn on the delay, and I think the delay I've got it set for a shimmer. Now we'll turn on the modulating effect. And when I bring in the octave, what I do like about this setup, this type of foot switch setup, I know there's other brands that'll do this as well. I just don't like those metal foot switches. I'm not beat that horse. Anyways, what I like about this is any patch I go into. Here we're gonna do my. Okay. Right now, my control switch for that patch, I have it set for the Univibe. Now I got the delay on there, right? So how do I shut the delay off? Well, in this patch, I hit my memory switch, and I got everything set up here. All I have to do is, if I want to shut my delay off, bring my delay back in. And I hit the memory switch again, now I'm back. Well, it goes back and forth from memory to manual. Now I'm back in memory. Now that's memory. Here's manual. That's where you can set and turn on and off effects as you need it. So there's a lot that I know I could do with this, with the ME80, and sometime on some of the patches I would have set Univibe with a phase shifter, so I get this really deep cascading effect. I'll probably do that on one of the effects here. I think there's a little bit more memory in this than on the ME80. I have to bring the ME80 down and do a comparison one of these days. and I mean, within the next maybe few days or next week, I'm going to do a comparison on the ME50, the ME70, the ME80, and the ME90 because I have all four of them. Um, let's see if I go to another bank here. It it doesn't have the bottom punch on like some of the other effect units do. Although I can get in here and really start to take my time with it. That's what I need to do is take my time with it. But there's some certain things I could do. I could do with this. Now that's a factory preset. That's on the user bank. What is on the user bank is identical to what's on the preset. So if your user bank, usually that's what you would manipulate and create your own patches. But if you go to the preset bank, it's going to basically be the same thing. And let's see if I'm right about that. Let's go ahead and we're going to preset will be P3. This is user set U3. Let's go to P3 and see what happens. We got up to 9 presets. Yep. Now, because I overrode the first one, let's see what. Okay, so you do have 9 preset banks and 9 user banks. Obviously, I got that cranked up a little bit. When you create a patch, no matter what unit you're using, and it sounds great by itself, the real test is when it sits in the mix. That's when you start to find out, I got maybe too much reverb, I got too much delay, or I got too much low end or too much mid range. Maybe I need to thin it out a little bit because I'm battling up against other tracks, other instruments in the setting there. So that's what you got to keep in mind there, And so now let's get over to the first. Let's see, the first RC5 pedal. And I'm gonna do this. Go down to my first. Yeah. And I'm gonna do the coil split here on the Paul Reed Smith. So maybe I can unplug my cord here, and so you could get an idea of what I'm doing over here. How's that? And let's do this because I have this set up for charging. Okay, guys, I try not to do this too hard. Yep, the cord's still stuck. See, it's still stuck. So now you get a chance to see exactly what we got going on here. And so here's my FS7 foot switch. This, I have it set to go up and down the bank. And let's just see what happens. Okay, and you have to double. I have to double tap that to stop it. You learn how to do that real quick. I'm gonna move the camera back over here and plug it back in because it just flashed. I'm at 5% or something, so I don't want this to die down. Sorry about this, guys. And sometimes you have to be a little bit creative with everything. And actually, in my opinion, that's the best way to be. Now let's just put this back in here. There we go. So what looks complicated and what looks like I'm using a lot of effects, I'm really not. I just have them there as I need them. Now, getting back with the SY1 pedal, I mostly use that as a hold function for certain things that I'm doing here. Let's see if I get this. What I'll do here is I will go to clear pads. Now when I put my foot on it, well, here I'll do this a little bit better so you guys can see. You can see exactly what's going on here. Let's get up to, there we go. So actually the way I'm sitting, I'm kind of like knocking it off whack here. Let's see if I do that again. Now it's going to go through here because it's going through the effect loop. So I might have to readjust that. But I mostly use that for certain things, not a whole lot. It's a great pedal though. I don't think the other one could do that with the hold function. I could be wrong, but it really works great. And again, everything is as I'm using it. I approach everything not to make it turn into something that it can't do, but let's see what I can use it on. For what it could do. Just sometimes you're not gonna get everything, but you learn how to manipulate things, and then with that, I could rerun everything. If I were to use that after this, so in other words, if I don't use that SY1 into the effects loop, I'm pretty sure once I hold that function, it's gonna hold that, and once I change here, I'm not gonna change anything with that, which maybe I could experiment with that later. It does look like there's a lot going on, and it's really not that complicated. I lost my train of thought. Now let's get back over here. I'm going to show you what happens with this. And because I did not save this, and I'm not gonna, because I got an archive now. I don't need to. So if I do this, boom, it's gone. I have my different settings here. Here's something a little bit interesting. This right here was experimenting, messing around with. Now, here, the way this is set up, you have different tracks, right? And again, I'm going to go ahead and fade it out. I'm going to show you something here. Here, I'm going to watch this. Watch this. Now, I turned this here. What you can do, a lot of times I'll do just turn the knob. It's easy that way. But I can hit my FX loop switch here. And then I could go. Oh, wait a minute. See right there, it changes the pitch. I can't remember how I did that. It's been a while since I did that now. I think it'll flash. There we go. It's flashing. Now if I want to go up my patch, I can. If I go back down my patch, I can. But you have to hold it down for a couple of seconds. Okay. Now, I have my volume pedal all the way up, so in theory, I should not get any sound. But I got a sound, right? So what you have to do when you're going to switch to another patch, and if you have this set for your volume, I have to do this. Now, I can fade it in. Now, what's really cool with this, let's say I wanted to just use that as a pad for solo. So it's there's some cool functions there with that. There's some cool functions with that. Now, I was messing around with some of the presets that they have in here. Now, again, I'm noticing I'm getting this mixed crowd, and there's a young college crowd that comes out, and they kind of like this stuff, and I could come up with stuff around this style. So, you have two different tracks here. I'm not going to do anything with track 3, but I got two different tracks here. Here we go. Now I hit track 2. Now I got where the band comes in. I'm going to turn off track 1. I'll put break track 1. So, as you could see, what I do like about this, having the volume control set too with everything, I could go back and forth, and it's something as simple as that. Just turn on and off whatever is programmed in there. Kind of for a live setting. When you're doing these gigs, 3 to 4 hours, and if you're doing them straight through, you kind of want to have a little bit of variety. Well, at least I do for my hearing, for my ears, and this kind of helps. And having things set where everything is foot switched. I'm not hitting the laptop or relying on somebody. Although Deb, she's there, but there are times when she can't be. So I have to rely on my feet. And being old school, I've always been used to that. And it's just something that works. Now I'm gonna try that same, just out of curiosity. I'm gonna try that same. I'm gonna see if it should be set for pitch. E, F sharp, G sharp minor, E, F sharp major, G sharp minor, 7. I think it's minor 7. Yeah, G minor 7. Now let's see what happens here. Okay. Alright, this is set because it's pre-patched to a filter. Now I'm gonna fade out. I'm wondering when I do the Latin, let's see what that does. Maybe it's not too much. Here's where the improvising can come in, the magic. This is what I like about this stuff. So, not bad, right? Now, there's a little thing in here. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to see what it is. Here we go. Okay, it's like a slicer. And you got the volume is set global. I have it set for those. Don't have any use for that right now, but you see, the thing is when you're creative, once you find out what the chord progression is and the style that I play with the fusion style, I can adapt to a lot of these if needed. I remember when we would do some of these weddings and everyone's dancing. I'll have this, especially with the 7 string, because I could seem to get a little bit of a lower end because of the longer scale, and when I use the drop pedal, I could blend right in with the bass. And sometimes all you have are just beats, you know. Sometimes you have that, you know, some weird stuff, you know. But the thing is that once you find that groove and once you find the chord progression, you can come up with some pretty interesting lead lines, melody lines, rhythmic lines, and it's almost like the sky is the limit. Now, what I do like about incorporating the Beat Buddy in with everything, that guy right there, is that when I have this extra time and I feel creative, just want to do a live looping right there. That's what's really cool with it. I still have my Digitech RP360 XP. The bass patch that's in there is very strong, and I'm like, thing is great. Thing is real great. I do have a. We have 4 of these Boss pedal boards. One I have set for my guitar synth, which I don't know if I'll be bringing out too much down here outside of these outdoor gigs, man. That thing's too sensitive. It's the GR55. It's a metal casing. It's a great unit, man. It's got some killer effects in it, especially if you could do goth metal. Oh my god, thing's great. I just might bust out. I still have with my BC Rich Warlock the pickup. I have the other pickup on my acoustic. I was thinking about putting one on the Paul Reed Smith guitar, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Those chords are very sensitive. They're 13-pin chords. They're expensive and they're sensitive. And down here in some of these places, people are drinking, and depending on how you're set up. Now, when I'm at Yucatan, I'm away from that crowd, and we have a really good, respectable crowd there, so I could probably get away with that. But I'm playing midday, and it's just very, very hot. That's the other thing, and that's something you need to keep in mind and consider for anyone that's going to do any outdoor gigs. Because down here in Florida, we do a lot of outdoor gigs. I imagine in Texas like that, maybe Arizona it's like that. Um, but there's a lot of outdoor gigs, and the humidity down here is, especially in the summertime, it gets incredibly high and incredibly hot. I gotta reheat my decaf coffee. Um, so it's something to keep in mind. I'm very fortunate this thing's been strong. We've had this. I think we've had this now 2 years. See, the test is the years and how many gigs. That's your real test on any piece of gear. And when you're doing anything outdoor gigs, that's going to be your test, guys. No matter what it is you buy. I know they got the Helix, the HX Stomp LT. I think it's the LT or Deluxe, whatever. It's a nice long unit. That's pretty badass because I do know that it's got the same amp cab, or maybe a few models down from the flagship Helix, but it's basically it's basically HX Stomp, but in a longer version. Yeah, with 3 more foot switches. But it's got those metal foot switches, and with that, I'd have to buy an expression pedal. So if I wanted to, switch over to that, but I'm going to see how much life I can get out of the ME90. And again, I still have my GT1 as a backup. And the thing is great. The GT1 it sounds excellent. It's a great sounding pedal, man. And even though it's got the Cosm, where the ME90 has the AIRD, the new technology that's in the Boss GT1000. The ME90 has that. Uh, yeah, the GT1 still has some really killer sounds, man. Really killer. Nice small play. That could be my fly rig, you know. Fly rig is just a smaller rig, and the reason why it got deemed the phrase a fly rig because you know you could stick it in a backpack and put it in the overhead on the airplane when you're doing gigs overseas, or if you just happen to, when you're traveling, you happen to be flying. My only concern with all of that is what kind of speaker system are you going to be plugged into? I think I can see some of the comments. Let's see what I got here, guys. Let me see if I can catch some of the comments. Oh, they disappeared. Crap. Let's see if I can touch it again and bring it back up. Nope, it doesn't come back up. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I don't want you to think I'm being rude. It's just that when YouTube changed everything, guys, it's kind of disappointing. You know, maybe I'm sure there's a reason for it. You know, but I can't respond to what people are saying if I can't see it. You know, and that's just really too bad. I don't know how to do any of these things. This is why I really am not a I'm not a fan on relying on this technology for my sole source of income, as far as you know, YouTube and Google, whatever. I'm very thankful that they've given us this platform because they don't have to. I mean, they could start charging us. So it's not me, ripping on YouTube or Google or anything. It's their platform, and I'm very grateful for you guys who have allowed me. I've been on, Landon Bailey. I can't remember his last name. But Landon, he does reviews. He's up in Canada. He just had a video. I just seen a video up a little while ago, where I guess there's so many haters on the guitar community, YouTube guitar community, and why they don't like these channels. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. By the way, they don't have to like me. I don't care. It's okay. You know, I'm not taking that personal. I'm just being honest. I'm not a fish eater. You know, does that mean fish is bad? No, of course not. Um, But I left a comment, and I've been on YouTube since October of 2006 on my other channel, and then I didn't know anything about the comments back then. I didn't know. We were just primarily using that to put up videos so people who want to hire me to play, they'd see what I could do, and then boom, I was getting all this work. Not a dime came from YouTube, and back then they weren't doing that. I think it's a great business thing. I think YouTube has created opportunities, but at the same time, algorithms and when people want to play games, they don't want to give you subscribes or views or anything that they. It's almost like you have a certain group of people who don't like you. They want to do anything to tear you down because they're not doing it, and that's what's really sad. I mean. I'm sure those people are very, very creative if they would only use that creativity in a positive way, right? So that being said, that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it, Google, YouTube, they keep changing things. So as they keep changing things, it's not stable. So for me, with this channel, is because this channel I started back in 2017. I kind of gone back to how my other channel was. I'm just putting this stuff up there for people like it. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate it. And I do very much appreciate the people who subscribe to me and who watch my content. I really do appreciate that. But there's no way I would rely on this as sole source of income. No way, man. And that's why you get people quitting. I think that's one of the reasons. I could be wrong, but I think that's one of the reasons why people have walked away from YouTube. I think I think they got a little bit disappointed them spending all this time and money on gear and updating and editing videos and time away from their family and first they get all these subscriptions and they got 1 million subscribers and that and all of a sudden they're making fractions of a penny on a dollar and it's just like how much could you sustain your way of living off of pennies on a dollar weekly or monthly or annually? I mean, come on. It's like you're below poverty if you're going to rely on it. Now, I'm not saying everyone is not making money. There are some people making money. Um, But I got a feeling when people put these videos up on how to grow your channel, they mean well. I'm not ripping on them. They do mean well. But their channel grows because they're trying to give you some advice, and right away people want to make their channel grow. So obviously you're watching their content, and their channel blows up because you're watching it, because you're trying to get something out of it. And then all of a sudden, next month or 2 months or 3 months down the road, they gotta like, oh, we gotta update something because something changed. You know what I mean? You cannot constantly be like a dog chasing the tail, running around. To me, that's how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it. Constantly a dog chasing its tail, never catching, never catching, never getting ahead, never getting ahead. Even even if they were to say to me, Dave, we're going to give you this, that, and the other, I would appreciate it. I'm not going to be rude and disrespect them. No, but sometimes they don't even have control over it. You know, it's technology, and it's. I honestly think it got released way before it was proven to be fail proof, and that's why there's all these changes, and everyone gravitated to it right away. So like, oh, now what do we do? You know. So I guess we'll just leave it up there and kind of mosey on and learn as we go. You know. So that's why I really don't take it all that serious and rely on it. You know, not that I don't take our business serious or anything like that, but you got to understand there's so many variables, and in any entertainment business, music, art. Well, art is a little bit different, but still, you know, it's a tough economy. People are not going to spend a lot of money on things like they used to. That's the reality. Um, it could be a fluctuating income, and you gotta remember, especially being a musician, because these restaurants they get one's in business now, but then next thing you know it bought out, and I've seen it happen like 4 or 5 times already down here for some places down here. And new owners. Now they've been carrying on the music, but one of the places for a while they were like, I don't know if I'm gonna have music. So you see what happens? And then if you're relying on this for your sole source of income, you you better have some money saved up, because I'm gonna tell you right now, anything could change, then you are gonna be SOL. And that's the sad reality. If everything is all peachy keen with whether you're making money on 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 YouTube, or with all these gigs, you know what the real test is? When they can turn around and they can prove to you that they're financing a car, they're buying a new car. That's going to be the real proof. Because you walk into these car dealers, and eventually, especially if you're gigging all the time, that means you're driving all the time. And after you exhausted every possibility of replacing parts on that car, now you got to the point where, now, hey, this thing's done, I got to get a new car. You walk into the dealership, and if you don't have a substantial amount to put down, and even if you do, when they ask you, okay, I need proof of a job placement, what you do for a living, proof of income, and you tell them you're in a cover band, they're gonna say, you're gonna need a cosigner, because everybody in business knows how unstable music is. That's a fact. And I'm not trying to rip on it, or be a downer or anything. I'm just looking at facts. So before you get all these bright ideas, really look at the big picture. And same thing with these advice with these people that claim that they're making all this money on YouTube. Well, maybe you are. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, hey man, sorry about that. I was wrong. But I got a feeling I'm not. I got a feeling I'm not, because you know what? Again, it's going to come down when you have to pay for something high price. That's going to be the real proof. Do you really have that money? Or are you just kind of floundering? Maybe a month here you made a lot of money, but a month later you're not making. I got a couple of friends that work in real estate, and right now things are slow, and that's in real estate. So if it's slow in real estate, what do you think it's going to be? So I'm not. Online is a little different, because people spend time online. They don't have to go out, and it is a great thing to supplement your income. It really is. And if you can make it as a full time, whatever it is you're doing, that's great. Go for it. But always keep in the back of your mind that all of this could change. And I've seen it change already too many times for me to just go 100% all in. And what I mean by with YouTube and Google and whatever, online reliability. I'm very thankful for it, but I'm not walking away from a solid source of income just for that. It has to really prove itself, man. It has, and years. I mean, years have to go by for it to really prove itself. So just keep in mind that. I know a lot of people get excited. They think they're going to be the next sensation, and when you're young. Let me put it this way: when you're young in your 20s and all that, you got time on your side. So absolutely, that's what we did. When we did all our road shows, we were a lot younger. We were not in our 20s. We were a little older, but we were young enough to handle it and to experience it and bounce back. See, that's the thing. If you think the party always lasts, you better save up for that rainy day, because if you don't, it's going to hit you like a freight train. And when it does, it's going to be tough. That's why don't ever discredit your other skills you have in life to do things. Don't ever discredit that, because it's going to be those things that's going to be the savings grace. Let me tell you. And then when you come to the music or YouTube or your art or whatever it is, now you don't have pressure on it. There was this one channel I seen. This girl, she's an artist. She's an amazing artist. I can't remember her name now. Is it Carly Jean or something like that? She went to an art school, and with the hope that she would see some results, and she did see some results. But she was already a great artist going in. But she did see and get skills that help her in that. But she's only one person. And when you're going to sell your art and you got to set up a website, you got to do all this, you got to, network with people and that. There's only 24 hours in a day. And she was still working. I think she went from a waitress to a bartender. And then the last video I've seen, she got the opportunity to be the manager. And when she got that opportunity to be manager of this establishment, and she likes the people there, and she likes her job there, she went for it. And that was a smart move, because one of her videos I've seen, she said, I might not be able to be a full-time artist, but I'm okay with that, because now I don't have to put all the pressure on my art to make money. Usually what happens, people, when they go down that road, they put the pressure on and they got to do all these commissions, and they have to do things they really don't want to do. But it's because they put all the pressure on it. When she made a very strong comment, she says, by me having my management job and this other source of income, now when I do my art, I do it my way and when I want to. And she's very free, a very free, free-spirited person now. She doesn't feel the weight of the world, beating her down. It's the same thing with music, man. I see some of my friends, they play in these cover bands, and I could tell some of the stuff they don't like, but they're going through it because they got to get through it, because they need the gig, they need the money. They put themselves in a situation where they're putting all the pressure on it, and it's not always rainbows and goblins or unicorns or whatever the expression is, So it could be a little bit rough there. And just have to keep that in mind. But when you're doing things that you want to do, you could choose the gigs you want to do. When you're painting, you could choose the pictures you want to paint and draw. You have that luxury. And then you could really call a shot. Now if you paint a picture that you want to sell for $15,000, you could hold to that price. You want to know why? You're not relying on it. But you could still hold to that price, because there's going to be a collector out there that's going to pay that money for it. But when you're relying on it for income, and you're selling maybe one or two paintings, let's say at 15 grand, let's use you sold two paintings the whole year, 15 grand, that means that annual income is only $30,000. Yeah, you could live on that, and that's when you sell. You're in poverty, man. It's pressure. It's a lot of pressure. So you got to think about those things. So I felt I just had to say that, because I got a friend of mine who wants to do YouTube full time, and I hope he can. But don't be surprised if there's not a whole lot of money in it. I've seen it where people walked away from their solid sources of income and later they regret it. They think they're gonna have their dream gig or dream job, you know, and then their dream job, not only does it turn into a nightmare, it turns into a nightmare that has become reality. And now they're fighting to get their old job back, and sometimes they can't get it back because they got replaced. And it's like, here comes the regrets. Like, oh my God, what did I do? I walked away from a solid source of income. If I only would have held out. Yeah, I'm a little tired, but at least I had that solid source of income, and I could do my art on the side or do my music on the side, and I could, it'd be a win-win, you know. So it's just things like that you got to keep in mind, guys. And I'm not trying to be a downer and trying to discourage people from, you know, going and experiencing what they want to do in life and their goals in life, and you know, ambitions of doing their dream gig and you know anything like that. No, but really take a good look. Really take a good look, because you know all the few success stories you see out there, there is a mountain of not so successful stories, failures out there. It didn't work out, and it wasn't anything that they were not good enough or they didn't do the right thing. There's a lot of saturation out there, and there's a lot of bias out there, and there's bias in every industry. So when people say there's no bias, then I don't, be very careful of that. The reason being, even you can have a day job working as at a post office or at a factory or you know construction site or whatever. You're gonna have bias, you know, or even in office. Maybe you want that position. You're gonna be, you know, let's say you're working in graphic arts, and you want to land that position where you be head of the of photography, but yet the owner likes somebody else, but yet you have the qualifications. But if that owner likes someone else, that other person might get the gig and you might not get it. That's what I mean by bias. It's everywhere. You just got to understand how to work around it. And the only reason I say that is because I care. I don't want to see anybody out in the streets. That's not fun, man. That's not cool. When you see them down and out, and then they're embarrassed. You know, it's real tough. Some people, man, they get real depressed, and then they take their own life over that. So just you know, be careful, man. Just really, you know, enjoy life. Don't put pressures on it. Anyways, my friends, I don't want that to sound like a downer. But basically, getting back to the gear here, I know there's people not gonna that probably hate this stuff. That's fine, but I'm using this stuff at my live gigs, and if anyone ever tells you you can't take that live gig, so you need this, you need that, then how come Rockin' Dave is using it outside? See, whether you like what I do or don't like what I do, that's irrelevant. I'm doing it, I'm out there, and it's proven that what I'm doing is working. I don't sing, obviously, you know that. But for people who are new to my channel, I don't do any singing, and I'm still gigging. So the point is be good at your craft and be smart at what you do. You know, look at the big picture and don't try not to get yourself in a bad situation. So, anyways, my friends, I hope this has been helpful. Um, Hope you guys have a very safe, happy 4th of July. And we will see if we're able to go live tomorrow because we're in rainy season. We're gonna be downtown Fort Myers. Hopefully, we get through our gig and we won't get rained out. The same with Saturday and Sunday at Yucatan. So if we go live tomorrow, it's gonna be what from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10, something like that. And we'll keep you guys posted. But again, thank you for all your support and watch and everything. I really do appreciate that. You guys have a great rest of your evening. You have a great 4th of July. And we will talk to you later. Thank you so much. Rock on and God bless. We love you all. Thank you so much.